Well, hello guys. Today we're going to be talking about a really cool handheld that I own. This is the Pspgo. It plays PlayStation Portable games. It'll also play the digital games that you could buy that are compatible with the regular PlayStation Portable, like the PS1 games and the minis and all that. So it's really cool. It has 16 gig of memory built into it, and then it has a card slot that you can expand that. Unfortunately, it's proprietary memory. It's a specific type of memory card that you can't just go get whatever you want. The biggest one that I've ever seen is 16 gig. So that gives you a total of 32 if you were to do that. It's not a tremendous amount of memory, especially since this Pspgo doesn't actually play the UMD discs, so it's only digital. And that kind of sucks. Like I couldn't even find a 16 gig card myself, so I found two 8 gig ones, and I'd have to switch them out. And still, it's not a whole lot of memory. And I own a crap ton of PSP games and PS1 games digitally. So recently, I watched a video from Macho Nacho Productions, a guy named Tito, and he was showing this off. This is a mod that you can do to the Pspgo from these guys right here from Genius Game Mods, and this will actually allow you to use micro SD cards for the memory, and you can use up to 128 gig micro SD card. So I bought one of those, so I'm going to attempt to install that inside of here. In order to do that, you have to unscrew the back, and then this back plastic plate has some stuff that is right around here in the middle that I'm going to need to clip off. It's not stuff that will affect the way the console works or anything like that. It just needs to make a little bit more room in there to fit this, because there's really not much room in there at all. And they give you some pretty good directions on how to do this and instructions, but I mean, it's pretty straightforward. There's no soldering of any kind. It's a very simple thing. This this end plugs into the port where you would put the memory cards that you buy for the PSP, and then the other side is a micro SD adapter. So very simple stuff. You just take the back off. I have to cut the little plastic inside there to make room for it. Then I stick it into the slot until it clicks, fold it over, and then tape it down, and that's it. That's it. That's all there is to it. Comes with some of that tape that you need, and hopefully this will work. So we're going to find out if I can expand my Pspgo to the 16 gig of internal memory plus 128 gig of additional memory. That would be amazing, because that would really let me fill this thing up with the digital games that I own on PlayStation Portable. You know, a lot of people will hack their consoles and then you can just do whatever you want, but this is not hacked, and I'd prefer to not hack it. I have a PSP 2000 that I have hacked, and I can play around like that. But this will be interesting to see if I can get this to work. So let's get this thing taken apart and see how it goes. Okay, so we got the back panel unscrewed. There's 4 screws in the back. Then there's 2 that are on the top that you need to take off to get this panel here to come off. And then once that is all off, this thing just lifts right off like that. So I've got the instructions for what we're going to need to do, and it directs you to make some cuts to the interior plastic. And as you can see, that's on the back panel there's some pieces of plastic we're going to have to cut off. Also, there's some other pieces of plastic right where that red is that we need to trim down as well, and that's going to be a little harder to do because it's pretty small. I'll show you here. So we go back take a look at this one more time. The back panel. So we're going to flip this the other way. Try to focus in. Okay, so I don't know if you can see what they're talking about as far as what needs to be trimmed. These little bitty, see it right there? Those little bitty pieces of plastic sticking up. And then on this, it's right in here. Right up here. That's going to be a little trickier. It's crazy that I need to trim that because it's so small, but apparently you need to try to get as much room in here as you can for this thing because it just won't fit otherwise. And I pulled out the memory card that I had inside of it, and that's what they look like. Little M2 memory card. So that's getting replaced. Alright, well, I'm going to try to trim this stuff, and I'll come back and we'll see how it went. Well, I turned the light on so you can probably see this a little clearer, hopefully. This actually went really smoothly and really fast. Got a little cat hair in there. I have that. But I clipped those off. They didn't even take hardly any effort at all. But I'll tell you what, part of the secret of that is having a nice tool. I just bought a set of these. They were really cheap on Amazon. It was like $12 for 5 of these. And those are razor sharp, so they cut really easily. So hopefully the cuts did the job. Now we're going to install this, and like I said, it's going to go into the cartridge slot and then tape over, like it'll fold over and be taped down, and we'll put the SD card in there and we'll see how it goes. Alright, well, I got it all put in, everything's assembled, got it put back together. I hadn't charged my battery, so plugged it in, see if it turns on. There we go. Okay, so it's wanting me to do the time and all that. Let me get that going. We'll see what if it asks me to format this memory card or not. Okay, I got the time in, and it gives me the message saying it cannot read the memory card and wants me to format it. So let's see if we can do that. Alright, it wants to format the memory stick. Let's see if it takes. Yes. Okay. System. Well, I was charging the battery. It might have just shut off completely. Hang on. Okay, I think the battery ran out while I was attempting to do that, so I have got it plugged in and everything. So let's see if we can get this thing to actually format. And here we go. Format completed. Okay, well, let's see if it shows up. Memory stick. 119 gigabytes. I'd say that was what we were looking for. Well, that was the easiest freaking thing I've ever done as far as a mod of any kind. Hopefully it's good. Let me try installing some games on it and make sure it actually works, and we'll go from there. Okay, well, it is installing a game that I bought. This is the first game I ever bought for the PlayStation Portable, and it's installing now on the micro SD card. So it does work. I'll tell you this, if you're trying to reactivate your PSP and it hasn't been activated in a while, you might have a problem. I had a problem. It wouldn't recognize the login. So I put in the email address and password, and it was the correct password and email address, but it wouldn't recognize it. So what I found out is you have to actually go to Sony's website, the PlayStation website, and go into the security stuff, and there's a way that you can generate a device setup password for older devices. This is because there's some changes that have happened to the infrastructure over the years to do with like two-factor authentication and stuff like that. So even if you have two-factor disabled, this will still be a problem for you, or it could be. So you just have to set up this device password, and then you can use that for your PSP. And you don't have to hack it to do that. So yeah, it's looking good so far. Well, the good news is it does work, and you can pair up your PS3 controller if you so choose. It's one of the great things about the Pspgo. And then you can actually, if you have the component cables, you can actually hook that up to your TV and play PlayStation Portable games and even PS1 games and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. I will tell you this. So if you're not hacking, if you're not like jailbreaking your system, and you're just using, your actual retail games and everything, you can do that. But I will tell you, if you try to use your PS3 to transfer games, they've made some changes that really make that damn near impossible. I haven't figured out how to get it to work correctly without getting an error message. So I haven't been able to I can download all the games that I've bought from for the PlayStation Portable onto my PS3 hard drive, but I cannot get them to transfer to my PlayStation Portable. So if you're going to play your games, if you're going to get your games that you bought onto your PSP, as far as I know, it looks like the way to do that is to get that temporary device setup password so that you can download straight onto your PlayStation Portable and do it that way. It would be a lot easier if I could just like download all the games on the PS3 and transfer them over like I used to be able to do, but I can't figure out how to get that to work anymore. So as of April 2024, it looks like that's the way this is going to work. The mod was so easy to do, I can't even tell you. It was so easy. I don't even know how to mod stuff, and I did it. And it works great. It looks great. There's no bulge or nothing. It's nice. You can't even tell anything is going on since you have that cover over the, where the cards go. It looks like, it's just amazing. 128 gigs. It's awesome. The one downside, if you call it a downside, is that it does take a little bit sometimes to load. And I guess the more stuff you fill up on that memory card, the longer it's going to take to load. It's not bad though. And get you a good SD card. Get you a fast SD card. That'll help you negate some of that. This is the one that I got. So anyway, there it is. Yeah, so I'll be able to really enjoy my Pspgo finally. It's my favorite portable system. It's just really cool. I love it. So yeah, I just wanted to share this with you. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. And I'm going to start downloading all my stuff. All my PS1 games, my PlayStation Portable games, obviously, and those minis also, and put them on here. I'll probably do a video or something once I get everything set up on here. But there you go. Thanks, guys. And I will see you again soon. Y'all take care.